James Gunn and Peter Safran, the new head honchos at DC, are planning to switch things up in a major way. Sadly for some fans, this means terminating some of their favorite shows and films. One of such projects is Black Adam 2, as it has now been revealed that the film will not be moving forward as part of the new DC's first chapter. Keep watching this video to get all the juicy details. What you need to know: the power structure at DC has shifted, but not in the way that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had hoped. Johnson said on Tuesday that production on the sequel to his DC superhero film Black Adam, which he starred in and produced, has been paused and will not resume anytime soon. With Black Adam having been released in October, new DC Studios bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran have begun reshaping the whole DC slate, canceling films like the Man of Steel sequel starring Henry Cavill and Wonder Woman 3. Johnson said in a statement on Tuesday, "James Gunn and I talked, and Black Adam will not be in DC's first chapter." In spite of this, DC and $7 have agreed to continue scheming on the most useful ways Black Adam can be exploited in future DC Universe volumes. Dwayne Johnson's heartbreak. Black Adam was a labor of love for Johnson, who had been in talks to portray the title role for 15 years prior to the film's release. Johnson became one of the most famous actors in the world during this time, and in 2017, he used his influence to get Warner Brothers and New Line to create a standalone Black Adam film. There was talk of a Black Adam vs. Superman movie before the film came out, and in the post-credits scene, Henry Cavill reprised his role as Superman for the first time since 2017's Justice League. In an effort to elevate his part of the DC slate, Johnson often used the phrase, "the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change," in promotional appearances for the film. A poor run at the box office. Black Adam underperformed at the global box office, taking in only $391 million. The film itself was made on a budget of over $200 million. Launching a sequel wouldn't have been a problem if it weren't for a few variables. For one, the cost of the movie was exorbitant. Sources say that although the film was approved for an initial $190 million, it ultimately cost $260 million to make. This is due in large part to a 20-day reshoot that was ordered following a subpar test screening, which reportedly drove up production expenses. This excludes investments in promotion. A December 5th Variety piece stated that the film will not be successful in theaters, sparking a press tit-for-tat over a more in-depth accounting of the film's money-making, with competitor Deadline singing a different tune 2 days later. Johnson gives false box office hope. Very rarely do actors or producers weigh in on the financial success of their own films, but Johnson did just that in a Twitter post. Even though the film's future was already very much in doubt, the actor went into a protective crouch and continued discussing the possibility of a sequel or sequels. Since then, reports of tension between Johnson and the studio have surfaced. Johnson denied reports that he had unfollowed Warner Brothers Discovery and Black Adam on social media, saying instead that he had never followed them to begin with. Moreover, it was notable that Johnson had not made any remarks about the employment of Gunn and Safran, despite the fact that many outsiders had speculated that there was some sort of underlying conflict between the two camps. On the other hand, Johnson said there was no ill blood between them in his statement released on Tuesday. He said, and I quote, "James and I have been friends for a long time, and we've always cheered for each other's success. There has been no change in my support for DC and Marvel to win big." Johnson reminisces on Black Adam. 2 months ago, at the New York premiere of Black Adam, Johnson was feeling nostalgic as he recalled his first day in costume and spoke to the press about his experience. The actor said, "I simply looked at myself in the mirror, and it was a very humbling moment because I battled so hard for this movie, to have this movie made, and to keep it on schedule. After 15 torturous years, we finally made it." Dwayne Johnson explains why Black Adam 2 was pulled off. As the DC Universe film Black Adam struggled at the box office, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shared some disheartening news. For the past few weeks, with Gunn and Peter Safran at the helm of the franchise, the future of the DCU has been up in the air. Johnson finally got his due this fall after nearly 2 decades of trying to get Black Adam made into a movie, but the results were less than stellar. He has been mum about the recent changes at DC Studios for several weeks. Johnson has finally spoken out about his franchise's future and the status of Black Adam 2. After meeting with the new heads of DC Studios, he released a lengthy post on Twitter explaining why his anti-hero wouldn't be featured in the first chapter of the DCU. However, the actor suggests exciting developments are on the horizon. As previously mentioned, Gunn has commented on Johnson's Black Adam statement to demonstrate his support for the actor. How exactly will Black Adam be able to rejoin the DCU in the future? James Gunn has already stated that Black Adam, despite not having a second installment, still has a place in DCEU's future. There's only one way this will happen though, and that's making cameo appearances or full-length features in other DCEU projects. The question now is, will Dwayne Johnson, who starred in and produced the first film, be okay with having his beloved character relegated relegated to mere features? We'll wait and see. Black Adam DCU box office problem. In the wake of Black Adam's debut, Johnson argued that the anti-hero will shake up the DCU's established power structure. Johnson wanted to see Black Adam battle Superman after Henry Cavill returned to the Man of Steel's role in the post-credit sequence, and there were ideas for spin-off projects that might potentially incorporate the Justice Society of America. It's not surprising that Johnson would make a comment like that regarding his own DCU future, given the disappointing box office performance of Black Adam and the fact that Gunn is writing a new Superman film. Gunn and Johnson still looking to use Black Adam in future stories does raise a few questions. It seems like the DCU is getting a fresh start of some kind, albeit to what extent is still a mystery. Many have speculated that none of the currently credited performers will return to their roles. Johnson's Black Adam may be one of the characters Gunn keeps using in his franchise, even if the DCU does a soft reboot. This would keep the established cast and setting, but would loosen the continuity slightly. It is unclear if that is Gunn's plan for DC Studios' movie franchise. Considerations for Black Adam in light of Dwayne Johnson's multiverse remark. Saying that Black Adam would be part of future DCU multiverse chapters was an important conclusion from Dwayne Johnson, as he spoke of the cancellation of the film's second installment. Warner Bros. Discovery's approach to the Batman and Joker universes, which stand alone from the rest of the studio's canon, might serve as a model for future use of Black Adam in the DCU. DC Studios could develop a wider variety of tales if they had both the core DCU continuity and spin-off franchises to work with. This way, Johnson won't have to start from scratch next year if he wants to keep playing Black Adam the way he previously did. Now that Johnson and Gunn have cleared the air, it remains to be seen where Black Adam will end up in the DCU down the road. Black Adam's box office debate hides a deeper DCU problem. Since Black Adam was released, it has been shrouded in uncertainty. At a time, it appeared inevitable that Warner Bros. Would greenlight a sequel, but today, there is a great disappointment about the film's financial performance. The movie needs to turn a profit if there's any hope of a sequel, and even then, it's not a given. The profitability of Black Adam won't be known until the film has completed its theatrical run, and even then, things seem dicey. Whatever the case may be, it's certain that the film's quality gradually declined after a promising beginning, which bodes poorly for DC. However, the film's only success at the box office was having Dwayne Johnson's best opening weekend. According to an initial story in Variety, Black Adam was expected to lose around $100 million on a budget of over $200 million. A few days later, both Deadline and The Rock announced on Twitter that the film will almost break even. However, the numbers show that Black Adam hasn't performed as well as the studio had hoped, and that any profits will be achieved only through heroic measures. DCU has a problem if Black Adam's box office performance takes a deeper dive. After raking in $67 million in its opening weekend, Black Adam was on course to become Johnson's highest-grossing film ever. For the DCU, which is entering a new age, the failure to achieve this goal is a significant obstacle. Marvel's films, on the other hand, have superior box office longevity and opening weekend performance. The decline in Black Adam's box office take can be attributed to the fact that those who saw the film in theaters on its opening weekend did not spread positive word of mouth about it. In part due to positive word of mouth, MCU films tend to do better at the box office. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad was a flop regardless of measurement, but it looks worse when stacked up against the 2016 original. Prior to that, Wonder Woman 1984 did not fare particularly well at the box office. However, this might be attributed in large part to the pandemic that was happening at the time. Still, DC hasn't had a terrific record in the last few years. When you factor in Birds of Prey's poor showing, you see a disturbing trend that DC will want to address immediately. So guys, why do you think Black Adam 2 is being scrapped? Is it a DCEU problem, or was it just a terrible movie? Let us have your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoyed watching this video, it'll be great if you tapped the like and share buttons so your buddies can watch it too. One more thing, make sure you subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell to keep getting more awesome content like this. Thanks for watching.